Hey everyone, this is your girl SolieSims and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're brand new. Today's video is going to be part of the collaboration that I'm doing along with three other amazing builders. One of my very good friends, Matt Boho, reached out to me and said that she wanted to do the Newcrest as a commercial build completely, like commercial builds only in the area, and we've come a long way with that. So between the four of us, we've split the lots up. There are actually 3 lots per person with 3 extra. So whilst we're going through and we're building up on those lots, those persons who have already finished, at least one person that I know of has already finished, requested another lot, so it will go along that route, I assume. So this build that we're doing today is a combination of a library and a bookstore. So we're trying to double up as much as possible, or just leave it as single as possible. It doesn't matter anyway. So I wanted to go with a double story build, and I decided that I want the bookstore to be in the bottom and the library at the top. I had some idea of the style that I wanted to put for it as well. So I did show, however, the shell. When I was done with the shell, I sent a picture to my friend, and she said she really liked it and it reminded her of doctor's offices in her area, and she's from Maryland. So I'm not familiar, I guess. I'm not familiar with the area. I'm assuming that it, it looks as she says, and she really liked it, and I'm happy that she liked it, so I continued on with it as is. So one thing I want to say before I really get into it is that this is a no CC build. All the builds are supposed to be no CC, and my issue with my build is that I have a mod that allows the wall mirrors to be able to be freely placed anywhere on the wall. So it flagged my mirrors in the bathroom only as CC. So, but it's really not, guys. So I'm going to have it's in my gallery under my ID SolieSims, and you would just have to tick the custom content button to be able to access it there. And I will be putting the tray files in the description box for those person who don't want to go through the gallery, but I promise you everything in there is custom content free. The mirror that I actually placed up was from Spa Day anyway, so I don't know why it anyway. It doesn't matter. It is that it's tagged, but that's the only thing literally, I promise, that is CC in this build. I cannot say exactly how many packs that I used. I have almost all the packs except for some cast packs. So so I really cannot tell you what type of items that I used in this. I apologize, but it would probably be very pack heavy. So yeah, there's that. The other thing that I want to apologize for in advance is that you will see there are times when the one screen will jump onto another, and the style of build, or rather the contents of the screen will be slightly different, such as, for example, the landscaping. I did a lot of the landscaping off camera. I did a good bit on. It's just so you guys can have an idea of the path that I was taking with it. But a lot of things like the filler plants, and the filler plants are plants that are normally under like the bigger bushes, or just little things that to fit up the spaces, etc. Or like the side of the house, the side of the build, sorry. I did all of the landscaping on the sides separate and on its own, as well as the insides. I did the layout mostly on camera, and I placed items, but things like clutter items, that was done off camera. So yeah, so I apologize for that as well. If that's something that you don't really like, or you don't prefer to see, or you would prefer to see, I do apologize for not having it set up this way. So we're moving on to the build. I'll continue speaking about the build now. So I was trying to decide what type of windows I wanted in the space, because I kind of wanted like a big bay window, or just a big window on the whole, that you can actually see in through, and see, get that cozy type of feel, so to bring in a little bit of natural light as well. So I do change the window. You will see that that is changed. Eventually it kind of gave me off a church vibe, and that is definitely not something that I was going for, so I definitely had to change that up. I was also trying to do upstairs as a loft style, but the space was very limited, and in the end I left it as is. I really wanted to try to incorporate using ladders, etc., just to give up that vibe, but it didn't work, and I'm satisfied with how it turned out in the end, but getting there was a process. So as you can see, I did the layout downstairs, and I did a open plan, kind of, mostly. So as soon as you walk in through the doors, there's the display areas on either side, which would showcase through the windows the books on display, the books that are available or on sale or whatever, which is what I'm doing right now. And the bookshelves gave me so much trouble, because it is a modular bookshelf, so it tended to snap where I didn't want it to snap. And as much as I do like the modular ideas, it really started to piss me off because it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And there was a space, a gap that I could not fill in, that I had to eventually just put two plants in there just to fill it up. It was really annoying to me. So if you're using this build, it will show you that there is a space in between the bookshelf, but the space is really just the wall that I couldn't put in like all the way to make them press back to back, which was what I would have preferred ideally. So downstairs is, like I said, the bookstore. I'm doing through the display area, and the plan that I had for the bookstore is that there is an office, the open space, everything is pretty much open, and just a couple of tables that I decided to put in the main selling area, which would be the sale item stuff. So because retail stores basically tend to have like lots of Sims milling about, etc., so I imagine not every single book is going to be up for sale. I don't know how anybody plays the game, it's really all up to you, but for me, that's just how it is. Now I was also thinking that I want to incorporate this build in my world, in my gameplay. So I had some ideas that I will be sharing with you as we come across them. I will be laying it out and letting you know what my thought process was, although I had planned to do so anyway when I built this. But you'll get an idea, but it's more focused towards the library part, which is what is upstairs. So this area we're working on right now is the office that I said that was going to be part of the layout. I really missed not being able to use CC. I really wanted to use CC in there because of the look that I was going for, which I kind of accomplished here. But my issue was with trying to put in all the clutter items. I could have used the red shelf, but I felt like it was more trouble than it was worth actually to do that. So I eventually just changed out the cabinets. I really wanted the particular style that I was going for, to make it seem like it was one long desk area, but I ended up changing it up. I ended up putting in the some cabinets from like the kitchen cabinets there instead, and I felt that it blended in well, and it also added a bit of texture that I was really pleased with, and just it worked well for me. So I also made a lounge area where I feel like the persons can probably sit whilst they wait for their turn, maybe to be served. Or if you're my idea of when I think of a bookstore, or an ideal bookstore for me, would be a lounge area where I can probably browse through some of the books that I have already purchased, or start reading one of them, or even I know I'm dreaming big, guys, or even if there are books that have already that's not for sale but are just available for reading, casual reading. You can sit in the lounge area and read, not loiter, just sit back and relax and kind of just enjoy the ambience of the space. Is that weird? Is it weird? I don't know. So I decided to put out to do the layout for how I want the books to be displayed on the table. And I figured I would do it in a circular pattern and have like maybe a bestseller or the book of the month or whatever it is in the middle, which is what I did with what I did in the end. So it's just basically the two tables, and then along the stairs, the stairway going up, there are some books that are on display as well. And I think these would be perfect for sale also. Now, you will see that I'm trying to place a couple of candles. Ideally, I also think a bookstore should sell things like lovely scented candles and maybe little crystals and little things. And initially, I had planned on doing shelving at the back of the counter where you could place all of these items, but in the end I changed my mind. I didn't go ahead and do it. I left it kind of bare, actually, so you can always just add it in yourself if you like. And the candles made me think of autumn, and I really wanted autumn all of a sudden. And I can't wait for it to begin so I can start my builds, because I have a few ideas for what I want to do then, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This part of the build that we're in currently, I believe, is an addition that was added on after the main part of the house. So the build, sorry. So let's just think maybe this was somebody's home before it was repurposed into this community bookstore, as well as the library. And with the new owner's idea of what they wanted the space to be, there just wasn't an ideal bathroom or community bathroom that could have been used. So, excuse me. So they added on this space both upstairs and downstairs. And how this serves is that there is this hallway leading from the bookstore into the courtyard, which I did after, which is a step down. So there's the courtyard there, and along that hallway you would get posters. You would get, because I did put up like a corkboard where maybe notices and animals for adoption and just activities, whatever it is, can be read there leading out. I also had copied that same bathroom, which I didn't show the second time, and put it upstairs. And I did put identifying markers on the door, so your male or female identifying sim can use the bathrooms. I also included a baby diaper changing table in both of the bathrooms, again because this is going to be part of my gameplay, like I said, and I feel that it is important to have that as an option, especially if this is going to be used also as a library. There's a space upstairs that I made for children specifically, so I think that would it would be in their benefit to have that added in. So it's what I did. As for the upstairs area of this part, with the bathroom, etc., it leads out onto the balcony, which I made upstairs right now, actually. And I added chest tables in the back here, because it was one of the requirements as well for the library that there are chest tables. So I have I put out 3 on the top, but it's more towards the end that I actually did anything down there. So, but you guys will see. And I made this space just a little bit more lush and a little bit more inviting. And and I put just benches out there. And initially I kind of wanted to have my sim, my no, not my sim, I'm sorry guys, I initially wanted to have a coffee pot put in there, but I figured that the sims would all flock to that area and it just wouldn't wouldn't flow as well as I wanted it to. So I decided to opt out of adding in a coffee pot. We're moving to upstairs, and I thought my thought process for the upstairs area was that this is going to be a place for study, as well as interaction, social interaction. So I figured I would put in cubicles for like a computer station for at least eight computers, etc., so that college students or just anyone wanting to do research, or even the younger students doing whatever projects, whatever, they can come here and use this space and get that done um, readily and easily. I felt that I did go a little bit modern with the design and the style, so but I also wanted to maintain a bit of a comfortable, cozy, warm type of space. So I did add a little bit of you will see that falling in line later on, and I added a little bit of clutter items just to make it seem like people have been studying here, and just with books and backpacks and stuff hanging around. So my thing was that in a library, I feel like every library should have a section just for children as well. And I noticed that was something that was lacking in The Sims. In regards to the libraries built, there was not a real section for the children, etc. So I went ahead and I put in a chair for like the reader sim, the adult sim, a rug, a nice comfortable rug that the children can lay on and color or whatever, play with the toys and stuff. And I just a few footstools, etc., where they would sit to in a group to be able to listen to the story that was being read to them, sorry. And I got a little bit lost after that. I was like, okay, so what else should I put in there? So I decided I'll come back to it. I'm sure I'm not the only one who does that. Like, I wasn't sure what else I should add, so I just moved on to the outside area, where I just placed a few things in the balcony, and then I eventually came back to this space. Here we are in the balcony now. I eventually came back to the space inside, and I decided to add in art display board, where I imagine the children, after doing little arts and crafts projects, etc., would put up their art for display. There's a toy box area, and I put a little did I no I think I may have left it. I left a little storybook there, design in the shape of a house. That's from the Book Nook kit. I also added some decals in that area to make it seem like as if it's playful and fun, as well as little animals popping out from behind the sides of the curtains, etc. And I also added a small table with just planter, etc., and a book that was being read there. But what I found that I really liked was this glass enclosed rose, and I feel that it may have been taken from, the concept was taken from maybe Beauty and the Beast, because that came from the werewolf pack, and I really really liked it. So I was like, maybe it's a case where they will showcasing just the different things that they would have read about in on display. So here, guys, I struggle with this because I wanted to be able to put up the bookshelf, right? Because this is a library. However, I felt that putting it in the middle kind of cut off the spaces too much. But I did want everything to have its own space and be separate in its own way. So I decided to get off recording for a while, come up with a design that I like, think of what it is that I wanted to do, and then I redid it. So I went with putting the bookshelves along the sides of along the walls of the space upstairs, and I decided to put this rounded lounge type area here. Now the reason why this one means so much to me is because it's going to be part of my gameplay as well. When you have a book club, etc., you actually can come here in a group and discuss your books. And if you do have a child, you don't have a space to put your child can enjoy themselves in the parents, well, in the kids section of the library, which I thought was a really good idea. Actually, I also wasn't comfortable with the color. Like the white was a little bit too bright. It wasn't very inviting and homey to me, so I decided to go with brown walls instead, and I feel like this was what was missing, and it just tied in everything together, and it turned out beautifully, and I was happy with it, and I really liked it. So I'm hoping that you like it as well. We're about approaching the end of the video, and I have put in the stills of the photos so you can have a better understanding of, or better idea rather, of the little additional pieces that I may have put on that was off camera that she didn't get a chance for you to see in the pictures. I hope you enjoyed this video, because I certainly did. And don't forget, if you're still here with me at the end of this long voiceover, to leave a comment and like and subscribe if you haven't as yet. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.